What were the circumstances surrounding the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor on his 66th birthday? It was on Thursday morning, 8 a.m., February 19th, when Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was placed under arrest. He was held in custody for over 6 hours. Well, let's not get this twisted. This was seismic. This is huge, and we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about how King Charles's statement may not have been enough, and we're going to talk about how this is going to impact the British royal family and the monarchy going forward. So go grab your tea. There's a lot to unpack here. We will talk a little bit about Harry and Meghan. They're not the topic of the big topic, which is a little unusual for me because I usually have so much content with them. I still do, but this is just a little bit bigger at the moment. So let's talk about that. Go grab your tea. I'll meet you right back here. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Carla and I'm a royal watcher. First and foremost, before we get into this, because this is huge, I would love to say thank you to Royal Daily Tea because she did a live on Saturday night and had me as a guest. And I completely appreciate the opportunity to sit with her and to talk. It was so amazing to talk to someone so knowledgeable that puts out such great content. I enjoyed every minute of it and her warm and welcoming community. And all of those that's migrated over from her channel, I appreciate you being here. And we've got a lot to cover. We're going to jump right in. Thank you again for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you. If you enjoy jewelry, tea, and royal gossip, this is your channel because that's what I do here. Hit the subscribe button so that you can be a part of this community and the notification bell so you can be notified each and every time I drop a new video. Anyway, so we're going to jump right in because there's a lot going on with Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. I've got my notes here. Let's jump in. So the news landed like a thunderclap when he got arrested. He was in his home. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. And of course, it was his 66th birthday. It's a stark collision between an ancient institution and the state's legal machinery in full public view. This is not a tussle from the centuries past. It's a live contemporary crisis unfolding in real time. We live in a time where everything is instantaneous. Everything is that fast. So the news traveling, unlike where in ancient times where there's such control over the media, where they can control what people see and read and know about, they still do to a certain degree. Unwritten norms that once insulated the crown are being tested by, I guess, the clarity of the legal process and the speed in which information is being transferred. And that's because social media is everywhere and at the same time. The way that we can communicate now and at the speed in which we can do it, that is what is bringing all of this from the bottom up. I'd be willing to bet that Andrew thought that he would never see the inside of a jail cell. And I have to say, like, he just was living his life thinking, all right, well, you know what? I lost my titles, so I'll just live here on these palace grounds in these beautiful greens and just live out my days here and not have to worry about a thing. And then 8 o'clock a.m. on his birthday morning, he gets a knock at the door. And I don't think he was prepared for that. And I don't know if I believe the king who says, oh, I found out when you all found out. Really? You're a king? You didn't know? I don't know. I don't think so. We're going to read that statement in just a second. I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. What now follows is the full, fair, and proper process by which the issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I've said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all. Charles. Is that enough? Is that enough? That's all? I mean, I don't think so. I know it's enough to say that. But then shortly after, do you know we saw Charles at a fashion show? There's nothing wrong with him going to a fashion show, but finding out that Andrew was arrested on that day It was a surprise visit to the fashion show anyway. So he could have very easily just not have gone to that. And I understand that he's keeping up with his promise to continue on with their duties, but I would have thought it would have been a little bit more appropriate if those duties were something more substantial, such as maybe going to a soup kitchen or something a little bit more, I guess, humanitarian like, not necessarily in the fashion world promoting high fashion. So when it comes to the monarchy, they remind me of companies in America that have risen to astronomical power, strength, money, and status to be called like some of our banks where they say they're too big to fail. And it's almost like the monarchy doesn't understand, like, you can fail behind this. This man can take your whole thing down. So you need to take a little bit more seriousness when it comes to this. I'm not saying that Charles doesn't think this is serious, but every single thing that he's doing and everyone within the monarchy is being scrutinized. It's under a microscope. Well, number one, it took forever for you to do anything, meaning Charles, regarding him. And then you let Andrew give like a half, oh, you know what, I won't use my titles. And then you thought that was enough until William was like, no. And then 2 weeks after that, which was the end of October, we come back and see that you stripped him of his titles using your royal prerogative. So it's like, it doesn't feel like there is a sense of urgency. Like the monarchy understands that they must evolve with the way times are. It's not like it was. It isn't like it was. This news is spreading like wildfire. Everyone that's someone and everyone that's no one has a platform, and some people's platform is huge. And so all of this news is just being reverberated out into the World Wide Web for everyone to see. And it doesn't matter that you put out a statement. Everything the monarchy does is being scrutinized. I don't think that Charles is taking enough steps. And I can understand William's frustration when it comes to Charles, because a lot of this might just get passed along to William for him to handle it, if there's anything left to handle, if you know what I mean. So I understand that Charles wants to keep on keeping on, but they need to step into this century and understand that you can't just put out a statement and then go to a fashion show and then be quiet about it and hope that it just goes away. No, that's not how it works. This is directly impacting the crown and everyone that is within it. And I understand William should be furious at that things are not being done quickly enough, things he's not doing harshly enough to deal with Andrew. And this is where my favorite subject, this is where it comes to Harry and Meghan. Now, let's put a clear separation. No, they did not do anything near what Andrew has done. That's not my point. My point is Andrew is a rogue royal. And with everything Andrew has done and everything he's getting dragged for and everything he's being held to account to is dragging the monarchy. You have on the other side of the pond two other rogue royals. You have rogue royals that are attached to your crown. And what kind of issues can the crown have to deal with in 10 or 20 or 30 years? So in my opinion, they need to do a clean sweep, and this is just unprecedented. They need to do a clean sweep of everyone who's not a working royal and handle it. They need to definitely take Andrew out of the line of succession. I know that's in talks now, but they need to just go ahead and do it. And they need to really understand that now is the time, because the more this lingers into the world and the more people look at it, the more the monarchy is going to keep getting beat down. They have to amputate these rogue royals and move on, and then you do your duties, and then you can go to your fashion show. And that's all I have to say about that. I hope you enjoyed today, and I will be back a little bit more frequently. I do want to tell you that I do have time. I do have time now to do a lot more content, and I couldn't be more thrilled about that. I'm going to be doing lives. I'm going to be putting out more videos every day on here and every other platform, and I'm working on all of my social media presence. So Thank you all for joining me today, and make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and the comment if you have one in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.